Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame and Cinnamon Sugar, and this is my last recap review for the day, and it is of the last episode that has aired of The Shy. All right, I'm gonna do this, and while it's uploading and doing what it need to do, I'm gonna take my shower and go to bed and get these last hour or two out of the way before I gotta get back up and get ready for work. I took a nap earlier and I wasn't sure if I was gonna get enough sleep, so I was just like, let me just go to sleep. I don't trust it because foolishness is still going on right now, which is why I hope these people get evicted. I'm sorry, it is what it is. Ain't nobody got time for it. It is what it is. I'm respectful of my neighbors. They need to be respectful of me. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this episode. So, everybody is looking for Valentine's Day cards and things like that. Emmett is in this store and there's literally one card left. Emmett gets to the card first, but instead of him grabbing the card and the envelope, he only grabs the card. And the dude, he grabbed the envelope, balled it up, and threw it at him. So he was like, man, you wrong for that. We end up seeing Jacob, Jake. We see him going into another little store and he's getting a Valentine's Day card for Gemma. And it's very different because they are still grieving the loss of their baby. And he's taking it really hard. And it's just been like kind of like somber and just it's been a sad situation just to watch it unfold, but they're trying to get through it the best way they know how. Well, Darnell don't believe in all that stuff. Like everybody else shopping, everybody got on the colors because it's literally the day of Valentine's Day. And some people don't shop for the gifts for the people that they love until the day of. So while everybody is in this Valentine's Day chaos, he walking through the store. I think he had condoms, beer, all kinds of other random stuff in his basket. Wasn't paying no attention to what was going on around him because he doesn't subscribe to that. He thinks this is just some made up stuff that the white man put out there and all this other stuff. Be that as it may, it is what it is. But some people believe in doing this on this particular day. I believe that it should happen all the time. My birthday is on Valentine's Day, so I've always gotten two gifts from my daddy, my parents, people who actually love me or whatever. They always give me two gifts usually. Well, I only usually like for real get two gifts from my daddy. If nobody else, I at least get two gifts from him. One for my birthday and one for Valentine's Day itself. Just to show, extra love. So, but I don't ever expect anything from anybody. But it's always sweet when people do think of me and get stuff for me. But the fact that Darnell, like, it just be like, ugh. I'm like, she likes stuff like that. But why not at least get a little something for her? Get her some flowers and be like, I love you every day, but, I know what today is and whatever. At least do that. Like, compromise a little bit. So Keisha is in the process of moving in with Emmett, and so him and his daddy moved in like a lot of her stuff, and she has a whole lot. And so he like, look, we got to make this work. It is what it is, and so he's talking to his daddy. His daddy over here like, well, I love your mama. I want to be with your mama, and trying to act like he being serious. And so he ain't taking him seriously. He was just like, you ain't changed. Like, most people don't change like that. I don't believe you. Like, you need to do right by my mama. I hear you, but I don't think you're going to do right by her. Essentially, he's trying to get the blessing from his son to propose to his mama. And he like, if you, like, are you actually serious? Like, don't nobody, it's crazy that don't nobody, like, really believe him. It's so crazy. Cause he like, I mean, is it gonna be different this time? Because you didn't try my mama. I don't know how many times. Like people have lost count, sir. And he like, yeah, I'm done doing what I've been out here doing. So anyway, Victor done linked up with Fatima, and so he was like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't expecting. Excuse me, y'all. He basically wasn't expecting to see her, basically giving anybody else the time of day. But it is what it is. And it's like, sir, you need to understand that she don't want to be a secret. Once it finally dawns on you that she don't want to be a secret, maybe she will give you the time of day. But he did drop by and he got her a Valentine's Day card and all of this or whatever. And so he told me, I want to see you. And so she was like, I'll think about it. It is what it is. So anyway, Tiffany wanted to know if Emmett could watch their son on Valentine's Day. And he was like, I don't know. I'm going to have to pass on that because I'm already have all my other kids and Keisha's son, Ronnie, because I'm treating her to a spa day. And so she, she like she really in her feelings. So at this point, she was like, all right. He was like, look, if you ain't got no other options, then call me. Like last resort type situation, that's cool. Child. So now it's about to be Kevin's girlfriend's birthday. And so he has named a star after her. So Lenay reading him. Oh, excuse me. Lenay is reading him. Like, really? This is what you do? Like, you think she gonna go for that? And so he was like, yeah, she loves stuff like that. And so she was trying to get him to understand that all women like some grandioso type of stuff as well. Like, don't get it twisted. And I'm like, I'm not gonna say I agree with that. I like moments. I mean, I ain't gonna sit up here and lie. Like, I don't like moments where it's like, oh, it's obvious that you done went off. You done said it off for me. Thank you. But I personally, I don't have to have that. I'm good. Because that's not what everybody is on. And it is what it is. But the thing about me is I never have expected anything other than the bare minimum. I haven't even been able to get the bare minimum. So, it is what it is. So the fact that he even thought enough to do that for her, it was really sweet. And like he already know that's up her alley. But go off, do what you do. So Gemma and Jake keep talking about the baby, and this is something that is going to forever change her. And he was like, it's going to change him forever as well. She's had to let him know that this is something that she doesn't know how this is going to ultimately, I guess, change her, because it is something that is going to change her. Hopefully it's going to somehow motivate her in another way, because for right now she's like really, 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 really sad about it. At some point she will hopefully be able to have a rainbow baby, hopefully when she grows up a lot and all of that, and she's out from under her father's reign, if you will. So, but yeah, she and Jacob are trying to talk, and no matter what he says, it doesn't matter. And she's had to explain to him, like, no matter what you say to me, it's not going to make me feel better. And this is just something they're both going through. Well, we see Shad talking with Victor and the woman who he's in the fake relationship with. And so he's trying to figure out if he's going to take Deja out to dinner or if he's going to buy her a gift. And so old girl was like, well, you can come to us. We're going out to dinner, to make appearances or whatever at some kind of really fancy place. And so he's trying to figure out who's going to fit the bill. And so they were like, dude on them, I guess. So he was like, oh, well, in that case, let me go ahead and buy this gift for her then. So, she is like living for Shad, and Victor is just like brushing everything that she's saying about him under the rug. And I'm just like, child, why is she acting like she lived for him? It got to stop. Like, girl. Meanwhile, y'all, I am so sorry. Like, I know y'all don't hear it. Y'all probably can't hear it in this video. They really are galloping through this apartment. So I'm sorry for the yawning. Like, that's why I be having to get some sleep when I can. Like, I literally had to take a nap, like, not long after I got home because it was quiet in that moment. And I turned my fan on high just in case they were going to come out of nowhere. But, yeah, they doing the most. Like, it's, child, what time is it? It is 9. Go somewhere and sit down. Go to sleep. All of them are under the age of 10. Like, they might all be under the age of 6. Like, go somewhere and sit down. Child, anyway, back to the recap review. My bad. Like, I can't help it because I love my sleep and I ain't been able to get my sleep. But anyway, child, what was I saying? But yeah, I'm gonna need for this heifer to stop living for him. So Tiffany is at the house with Rob and he burning the sauce for whatever it is that he cooking, and she already tried to tell him to turn it down, and now the house is engulfed in smoke. Like she was like, I tried to tell you. I always gotta like she stayed with attitude with him. I'm like, girl, you are so unhappy now, like that you're not with Emmett. Like, girl. So anyway, Jada and Darnell done went out. They trying to go out for Valentine's Day. He look good in that suit. I ain't finna lie to you. Like Darnell cleans up well. We ain't finna never lie and make it seem like he ain't cute. He ain't fine or whatever, child. But I'm still not here for him. I was here for Suede. Um, like he done tried Jada too much for me. That's why I be looking at people sideways. Like, nope, I ain't here for you. But try to take her out despite his hate for Valentine's Day and all that it stands for, which I understand the commercialism of it and all of that. But they went to this place, and then some people that they went to high school with who have been together for like 20 some years, I guess, rolled up and they were like, oh my gosh, we got to catch up. And they kind of were like reluctant to do it, but they were like, oh yeah, we can, be able to catch up for a few minutes. And so they were like, what, just for a few minutes? You can't spare a little bit more time than that? I'm just like, child, it's gonna be a mess. So they follow them, go and do what they're doing. We see the married couple that has been trying to work on their marriage. Y'all know, Nina and Dre. Because I'm like, dang, what are their names? Like, they don't really show them like that. And I done got to the point where I'd be about to forget their names. They supposed to leave out and go to, go out or whatever. But they in the car. This heifer talking about her feet already hurting. Whatever shoes she got on, they ain't left the house yet. And so Dre was like, well, would you like to go back inside and like get comfortable, put on some pajamas and watch some movies? Like, we could do that. And so she was like, oh, watch Abbott Elementary. I was like, I know that Abbott Elementary is great. That is a great show. Very great. It's awesome. If you ain't watched that, I don't know what you're doing with your life. But yeah, y'all, support her. I only can think of her last name right now, so since I can't think of her first name, I ain't gonna worry about it. But yeah, Abbott Elementary. Look that up, get to watching it, support her. But anyway, y'all, so they talk about they're gonna go in the house and do that. I'm like, yes, Lord. So now everybody is out on their double date. Shad and Deja. And then we have Victor and old girl. I don't know why I can't ever remember that heifer's name, but whatever. But she's envious of their relationship, and I'm just like, girl. Anyway, ain't nobody got time. So they hanging out. Victor is not present because he is living for Fatima. He texted her on the phone with her or on the phone talking about, something business wise. Anything that ain't got nothing to do with this heifer. And I'm like, how are you upset when y'all ain't even a thing for real? Y'all are in a fake relationship. Girl, bye. So now we see Tiffany still with her attitude, and Rob is looking at her like, heifer, I don't need a holiday to celebrate you. I celebrate you every day, which he does. So in my mind, I'm kind of like, girl, you doing the most. You doing the most now. Like, you just trying to find a reason to be upset. You upset because Emmett's setting it off for Keisha on today. That's all. So anyway, Keisha is in her robe at the place. You know what I'm saying? Because he ended up getting a room for her at this hotel. It was a spa day for her and all that stuff. So she watched it Wait and Exhale, and then she, had a moment where she was like, wait a minute, let me just reach out to Tiffany. Reached out to Tiffany and was like, hey, can we meet up? I want to talk to you. So then Tiffany got the message right when Rob was about to leave out because he got to catch a flight to go meet up with some folks for business or whatever. And so at first she was going to lie to some girl, I'm enjoying my Valentine's Day. Then she was like, cool, well. So they go link up. Rob leaving, he had to, basically motion for that heifer to come over so that they could hug. Like, girl, I'm like, ma'am. So anyway, Now we see Kevin having dinner at his girlfriend's house for her birthday, and so he ended up presenting a gift for her. And she's, just like me, she ain't need no gift. It is what it is. She said that that was the nicest thing that anybody has ever gotten for her. It's the nicest gift. And so she was just like, wow, like this is really, really nice. I didn't know that we were giving gifts for the holiday. Why am I thinking this? Is it her birthday too? If it ain't her birthday, y'all, I've been saying birthday this whole time. It's definitely Valentine's Day, but I could have sworn they said it was her birthday too. I could be wrong about that. My bad. Anyway, but he named a star after her, and so she was like, "Oh, well, I didn't know we were, swapping gifts. So my bad. I'm sorry about that." He was like, "Oh no, you fine." So it is what it is. So Bakari over there smoking weed in the house, and so he was like, "Man, you gonna have to cut all that out. You know, my dad is a pastor. He gonna kill us, and all of that." I'm just like, boy, it done got to the point where Papa had to read this boy and tell him that it is his fault, essentially. Like, he had to, like, spell out, it is your fault. You might not have been the one who physically stomped and trampled on this woman, this girl, and caused her to lose her baby. But your actions led up to it happening. So it is your fault. So anyway, he talking about he likes somebody who is Lenay, and he wanted to know if Papa would write his feelings down for him so that he can, create basically his own like little Valentine Day card for her. And he was like, "Do you have good handwriting?" Papa talking about he has impeccable handwriting. And so he was like, "I'll write it for you only if you apologize to Jake and Gemma." And so he was like, "All right, man. I mean, I can do that. So cool, whatever." So then they agreed on that. We end up seeing Darnell and Jada out and about, still hanging with these folks. They over here really reliving the terrible past of Daryl going to jail because he was under the influence as a minor, driving his dad's vehicle, wrecking it out, like all kinds of terrible experiences. Child. And so Jada is trying to save it by saying, all that stuff happened in the past. We want to focus on the people that we are now. I love him. He loves me. Whatever. You could tell he felt some type of way. I'm just like, child. So anyway, we end up seeing Tiffany and Keisha meet up. And so it was super awkward. And basically nothing was accomplished because the whole time when conversations, quote unquote, were happening, Tiffany's trying to convince her that Emmett ain't gonna change. He gonna treat her the same way he been treating folks. Like, girl, how you know he ain't gonna do to you what he did to me? It's like, girl, let her learn. If that's what's gonna happen, okay, it is what it is. But you too bitter, and you got a whole man. You left him for her. You left your man, your husband, for this new man, and you seem more unhappy now than you were with him, and you were with him for years. Like, girl, stop. So anyway, the ladies ended up watching their wedding video, Nina and Dre, and they were like rekindling everything, and they went and had them a nice little Valentine's night. All right, okay. So that's what happened with them. Then we end up seeing Daryl and Jada talking later on, and he was apologizing for everything he'd done, and she laughing because she was like, "I'm already forgiving you for all of this. Like, what are you apologizing for? Like, it is what it is." And I was just like, child, ain't nobody got time for it. Well, after dinner, Shad, Victor, and that heifer that he's in a fake relationship with came back to the house, and they were talking. This fool that came from his bedroom upstairs to retrieve whipped cream to have a nightcap, if you will, with Deja, right? And he gonna tell this heifer that she looked good enough to eat. And I was like, because she was like, I guess refreshing herself because she was finna go and be over somewhere with Rosalind, I suppose, child. I don't know. So anyway, he went back downstairs and he trying to figure out where Deja going. And Deja was like, "Oh, you over here talking about somebody else look good enough to eat. You don't do that. You don't tell nobody that who ain't your woman." And so he was like, "I've been in prison for all this time. Everybody look good enough to eat to me." And I'm like, sir, like, no. Now, this is the only part I don't agree with. Like, she read him down. And I mean, she had every right to say what she said to him about him talking the way he was talking, mentioning what he said to that heifer. But for her to basically be like, she wouldn't even be looking your way if it wasn't for me. I mean, that's kind of true too. But at the same time, like, I don't like when people do stuff for people. Don't make it seem like you're doing it out of kindness of your heart. And then when a situation ain't going your way, you throwing it in their face. I don't like when people throw stuff in folks' face. I don't like that. Like, you're doing it, you have malice, and all. I don't like that. So, like, he done went off on her. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh no. So she left him. It is a mess. So this heifer, Tiffany, done rolled up unannounced to see Emmett. Telling me, I need to talk to you. And he was like, okay. She came inside, tried to get him to sit down. He was like, no, I'm all right standing. So then she finally convinced him to sit down. This heifer talking about, I know you still love me. And he was like, yeah, I do. Like, this heifer tried to come on to him, undone her, like, oversized jacket, hoodie situation, and had, like, lingerie or something up under there. And he was like, I told you I have a woman. Like, I'm like, you better do that, Emmett. You better do it. So she felt some type of way, and she was like, wow, I can't believe this. Like, you could be faithful to her, but you could never be faithful to me. Like, wow. Girl, apparently it's true that people will do right by the people that they want to do right by. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I ended up seeing Fatima and Victor having a nice little dinner together. Like, he left out, and that's what he went to go do. He wanted to spend Valentine's night with her. And so, like, she's still making her intentions known. Like, if we gonna be something, you gonna have to be out with it. Like, I ain't got time for the foolishness. Tell me why this dusty heifer gonna go downstairs to where Shad at. He over here thinking somebody's trying to break in the house. This heifer done rolled up. And she was like, where did Deja go? And he was like, oh, she left hours ago. And so he trying to figure out how this situation gonna play out. What you talking about? Man, he over here done rolled up. He allowed this heifer to roll up on him. I'm like, boy, you are dumb. Why would you do that? Child, who am I though? Maybe I'm wrong. She kissing him and all of that. Talking about, oh, well, he ain't got to know. And I'm like, y'all in a fake relationship, but at the same time, like, you was just with this other woman. Like, sir, stop. Gemma in the bed. She's still in her feelings. Her daddy is talking to her. And he's just like, I hate that you have to go through this. But this is, a situation where, everything happens for a reason. And she's trying to figure out what the reason is and all of that. So, he's trying to reassure her that he will always be there for her. And I'm like, that's sweet. That's very sweet. So yeah, y'all. Lenay ends up getting the card. Papa gave it to her, trying to figure out who is it from. He did admit to writing it, but he said the words and the sentiment of the words and all that stuff were not from him. Then Bakari come in the room, and it's made very obvious that he's the one who the words came from. And so she basically read him and was like, this was all sweet or whatever, but you need to do what you need to do, because I know that you were the reason why that situation went down. And so he ended up telling him, look, we got to go. You said you was going to apologize and talk to, Jake and Gemma. And so she was like, the only way we can hang out is if you do that. You do that first, then we can hang out. So now he kind of feels like, oh, okay. Well, let me go and apologize to them. And I'm like, go be sincere about it. I don't think Jacob is going to be understanding of it. But go off, though. So Emmett then rolled up early in the morning to go over to his parents' place, if you will. Went over to his mama house, and his daddy answered the door, so he talking to him. And so he was like, look, I give you my blessing. So he was like, dang, that was quick. He was like, look, I ain't had no choice. Like, I can't believe it. So he was like, well, what changed your mind? And he was like, me. He was like, what? He was like, yeah, she tried to hit on me last night. Like, she tried to have sex with me, and I didn't do it. So if I could change, I know you could change. You better do right by my mama this time. So now he's excited about proposing to her and all of this, right? Well, Jada that came home from wherever she was at, the house is filled with balloons and all that good stuff, and she trying to figure out what's going on. He dressed to the nines, and so he was like, hopefully everything that I've done, it can be made up for by me doing this. He proposed to her. She said yes, put the ring on. The ring actually fit and all that. She's so happy. I'm like, child, I ain't here for it. But anyway, y'all know how I do. Hopefully y'all have a good day. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thumbs up this video. I'll see y'all later.